Good morning. We are from Group 11. We'll present our essay. Uh, our member, the first is me, Santo.
Me, Delvina Dea Anisa. I'm Melany Apriyanti.
I am Fauzan Hakim.
Um, Now we will present our essay. The first introduction, I will explain the introduction. Indonesia is a country that has very diverse culture. Indonesia is a country that has many islands that are connected to each other from Sabang to Merauke, and each region has a diverse culture. Culture is a comprehensive pattern of life, and culture is complex, abstract, and broad. Culture is a view or way of life of a group that will continue to be passed down to generation, will continue to be passed down to next generation. According to Samovar, Porter and McDaniel state, in order for culture to be passed down from one generation to the next, individuals or and cultural groups must communicate every aspect of culture. Culture will be lost if it is not preserved by the next generation. Difference in cultural backgrounds leads to difference in individual behavior in communication. According to Hawiya, states that a person's cultural background will influence his or her perception. A person will have an influence on his perception. Every culture teaches someone how to think and behave. This also certainly affects communication behavior. For example, when Japanese people communicate with Batak people, Japanese people who are famous for their gentleness and politeness in speech are inversely proportional to the Batak people who tend to be rude and use a loud voice in communication. It proves that culture has a big influence on a person's behavior in communication. Japanese people have the perception that manners are the most important thing, while the Batak people think that courage and openness are the things that make them more powerful, that make them more authoritative. The communication process is influenced by a variety of elements. Some of these are culture, language, and so forth. Culture difference among members of a group or team influence both positive and negative communication. This essay focuses this, top, on this topic and use a descriptive technique to explain the how the influence of cultural difference on the communication behavior of K2 students. That's all from me. The next material will be explained by Melany.
Okay. So, in the body of our essay, we talk about the English education class to K2 students consists of various different cultures, but Malay and Batak cultures are the most dominating cultures. So, in the first paragraph of our essay, we talk about the culture shocks that have experienced by individuals include cultural flexibility, agnosticism, and individual stress reaction. According to Register and Renan, 2013, the culture shock factors experienced by individuals include the cultural flexibility, ethnocentrism, and individual stress reaction. The result of research from Al-Ahtami and Al-Ahdal 2014 state that the move of Arab students from their native country to America makes them experience various problems caused by differences in language, cultures, and the values of they believe in, thus making them experience difficulties in making adjustment in the new country so that they have difficulty in adjusting to the new country and making adjustments. To experience culture shock. Usually students who experience culture shock are those who will still unstable in adapting. Especially campuses and classes that do not meet expectation are known to be one of the factors causing the onset of culture shock. known to be one of the factors causing symptoms of culture shock. There are four types of fast that are the first one is fast, fast optimistic fast. The first fast contains joy, a sense of hope and euphoria as an individual's anticipation before entering a new culture. The next type of phase is cultural problems. The second phase where the problems with the new environment begin to develop. For example, due to language difficulties, new traffic systems in schools, and etc. The third phase is recovery. The third phase where people begin to understand their new culture. At this stage, people gradually make adjustments and changes in the way they cope with the new culture. The last phase is adjustment. People have understood the key elements of their new culture, such as values, spatial ethic, communication patterns, beliefs, and etc. And the example of Batak people and Malay people, like the influence of culture on their communication, will be explained by Delvin.
For example, Batak people speak with direct and straightforward sentence. The form message they use are also without concentration. They also feel comfortable if someone speaks less. They tend to choose to cut off their friend's sentence who is talking to them if it is considered small talk. Batak people prefer to speak directly, straightforward, and without pleasantries because it has been style of speaking since they form the area of origin. Sentences that use small talk they consider waste of time and as if they have lost their identity. The Malay tribe, which is famous for its soft and simple language, experienced culture shock of differences in verbal communication with other tribes, especially the Batak, because the Batak are famous for their loud and more open intonation. Like the Malay people in K2 class, they think that Batak people are angry and rude even though it's not like that. Malay people usually like to make jokes and seems awkward to Batak people because the differences in intonation and body language don't make sense to them. So every culture teach how a person thinks and behave. This is one of the factors in the success of relationship. Differences in culture background that are inherent in a person make it difficult for a person to adapt to a new environment. That's why the adaptation process takes quite a long time to do. These culture differences can influence many things, one of which is the way a person communicates. The next material will be explained by Hakim.
Okay, so I'm going to explain the concluding. So, conclusion, sorry. In summary, the essay underscores the profound influence of cultures on communications behavior. Examining its impact on K2 students in English education class, the challenges posed by cultural differences, particularly in the context of culture shock, highlight the importance of fostering cultural understanding and effective communications to bridge these gaps in educational settings and beyond. Our writing focuses on the communication behavior of K2 students who attend an English education class where Malay and Batak cultures are dominant. The initial experience of culture shocks among these students, as outlined by Rajaskar and Renan, is influenced by factors such as cultural flexibility, ethnocentrism, and individual stress reactions. The research finding of Al-Ahtami and Al-Ahdal first support the idea that cultural associations, particularly in language, cultural values, and lead to difficulties in adjustment and symptoms of culture shock. The cultural background of individuals shapes their thinking and behavior, contributing to the success of challenge in relationships. The adaptations process for individuals with diverse cultural background, such as Bata and Malay, requires significant time investments due to the inherent difficulty and in adaptations to new environments. These cultural differences manifest in various aspects, including language use and interpretations of information. Okay, I think that's all for this group.
Um, okay, I think that's all from us. Uh, Thank you and good morning.